Hi, for this chapter of Organizational Behavioral Study, we will cover topic about team dynamics that discussing the benefits and limitations of teams, team effectiveness model, characteristics, team size, and team composition influence team effectiveness. Also, we will discuss about 4 team processes, the characteristics and factors required for the success of self-directed teams and virtual teams, and identify for constraints on team decision-making and discuss the advantages and disadvantages of 4 structures to improve team decision-making. Teams are defined as groups that consist of 2 or more people who interact with and influence each other and are mutually accountable for achieving common goals with organizational objectives. That's why they exist, to fulfill some purpose. Then, their existence is held together by their interdependence and need for collaboration to achieve common goals.
Teams are defined as groups that consist of 2 or more people who interact with and influence each other and are mutually accountable for achieving common goals with organizational objectives. That's why they exist, to fulfill some purpose. Then, their existence is held together by their interdependence and need for collaboration to achieve common goals. For some reason, team members influence each other, although some members may be more influential than others regarding the team's goals and activities. Finally, a team exists when its members perceive themselves to be a team. They feel connected to each other through a common interest or purpose. There are 3 types of teams that indicate to each teams with different types of characteristics, such as departmental teams, self-directed teams, and task force teams.
The informal group is the groups include people assembled together, whether or not they have any interdependence or organizationally focused objective. They exist primarily for the benefits of their members. There are reasons why informal group exists, such as innate drive to bond, to maintaining social relationships without any special circumstances or ulterior motives, social identity that will also define themselves as group membership, to accomplish personal objectives that cannot be achieved by individuals working alone, and be a social support, minimizes stress by providing emotional or informational resources to buffer the stress experience. Informal groups are also the backbone of social networks, which are important sources of trust building, information sharing, power, influence, and employee well-being in the workplace. Social loafing occurs when people exert less effort and usually perform at a lower level in teams that teams might suffer from motivational process losses. Social loafing is more likely to occur when individual performance is hidden or difficult to distinguish from the performance of other team members. To minimize this problem, there's some list of strategies to reduce social loafing, such form smaller teams, specialize tasks, and measure individual performance. Then, to increase employee motivation, they need to increase job enrichment and select motivated employees. The job that has a complex process requires skills and knowledge beyond one person's ability. Task complexity demands teamwork, but teams work better when the work is well structured rather than ambiguous. To smooth the progress of tasks, the employees need to know their role to perform it well. The task will more effective and efficiency if the teams can manage to complete the task by working together, by sharing materials, information, or expertise to perform their jobs. The smaller the better. It is because the members of smaller teams also tend to feel more engaged, because they have more influence on the group's norms and goals and feel more responsible for the team's successes and failures. Also, members of smaller teams get to know each other better, which improves mutual trust as well as perceived support, help, and assistance from those team members. The diversity in team composition is necessary to see broader view from different members to gain more knowledge, skills, perspective, and values. But it also have advantage and disadvantage. Trust defined as a positive expectations one person has of another person in situation involving risk. Trust is ultimately perceptual. We trust others on the basis of our beliefs about their ability, integrity, and benevolence. Trust is also an emotional event. We experience positive feelings toward those we trust. Trust is built on three foundations: calculus, knowledge, and identification. Self-directed teams is a cross-functional workgroups organized around work processes. Teams are self-directed because team members make decisions about their work unit with minimal interference from management. A multicultural team is a team whose members originate from various countries and cultures. Virtual teams are teams whose members operate across space, time, and organizational boundaries and are linked through information technologies to achieve organizational tasks. Self-directed teams, virtual teams, and practically all other groups are expected to make decisions. Under certain conditions, teams are more effective than individuals at identifying problems, choosing alternatives, and evaluating their decisions. Team decision-making always facing these for most common problems are time constraints, evaluation apprehension, pressure to conform, and overconfidence. Brainstorming is a team event in which participants try to think up as many ideas as possible. The process was introduced by advertising executive Alex Osborne in 1939 and has 4 simple rules to maximize the number and quality of ideas presented. Firstly, speak freely. Describe even the craziest ideas. Secondly, don't criticize others or their ideas. And thirdly, provide as many ideas as possible. The quality of ideas increases with the quantity of ideas. And lastly, build on the ideas that others have presented. Evaluating brainstorming and brainwriting is a variation of brainstorming that minimizes the problem of production blocking by removing conversation during idea generation. Electronic brainstorming is similar to brainwriting but uses computer technology rather than handwritten cards to document and share ideas. Nominal group technique is another variation of brainwriting that adds a verbal element to the process. The activity is called nominal because participants are a group in name only during 2 of the 3 steps.